Hello, everyone. My name is Byron Ingram, and I'm going to give you today an honest review of WP Engine for your WordPress hosting needs. One of the most important things that you can do when it comes to your website is choosing the right hosting provider because it makes all the difference. When people are getting started with their business, one of the common things I see is they'll go for inexpensive hosting. And you have to think of it as you're running a business or you're running a simple website because you're going for the long term. While shared hosting, it can be great if you are on a tight budget, but realistically, you need to be using a solid hosting. And I recommend WP Engine to all my clients. And I'm going to tell you a few of the reasons why. One of them is that you're going to have a much more secure hosting provider as opposed to some of the others that are out there. Many of the other ones I've had problems with in terms of getting support, getting issues fixed and resolved, where some it took months and others never got resolved. And ultimately had to remove their site. All of the clients that I utilize WP Engine with have not had a single problem with any of their sites that they have up and running. So in terms of getting started with WP Engine, if you just have one site or two sites, I recommend you start off with the personal plan. It's what all my clients are currently using. And they have two sites that pay like $10 extra, and they have two sites on that same plan. So it's a great way to get going, especially when you're looking for something that has a more secure process, a more secure server for your sites to be on. Now, there are a couple other plans to look at. It just depends on what you're doing. If you have multiple sites, then you have to look at which one's going to make the most sense in terms of using the professional plan or the business plan. And as you can see with looking at these plans here, depending on the number of sites, with the number that you have, the more you have ultimately is going to make it more economical in terms of your hosting. So with one install, it's essentially you're talking $30 a month for that one site. But if you had 25 sites that you were managing, then you're only talking about $10 a month in terms on the business plan. And ultimately, you can always go into their premium enterprise grade depending on what you're looking at. So when you're looking at this screen here, it has just a quick comparison in terms of the storage that's there. And with all of them, you're going to be perfectly fine, especially if you're just getting started with business with the personal plan here. One of the things that you need to look at, it's in terms of that support that you're getting. So WP Engine has 24/7 technical support, and from people that are based here in the US. Some companies, you're going to get support from who knows where, and depending on where you are, if you're here in the US, getting English-based support makes a world of a difference. It eliminates any language barriers. Also, having daily backups. I can't tell you how critical that is to your business. In case something happens, you have the most recent backup that you can be able to restore. And as we live in a world where there's people who are not so nice, and that's one way of putting it, having firewalls that are going to help protect your data from threats is extremely valuable. Because if you're running your business, you don't want to wake up one morning and see that it's down because your website was attacked. And that leads us to the malware scan. They're very proactive in terms of not only detecting, but eliminating malware. Other platforms, it's all up to you. You're using their hosting. If your site gets malware on it, they just shut it down. And that's actually happened to a client of mine in the past. They were using a different hosting provider, and their website was shut down because of malware installed on it. Also, we moved them over to WP Engine. We've had zero problems since. In terms of caching, it's all about speed. And the biggest thing you want to look at, I'd say, is going to be the one-click restore right here. If you've ever installed a plugin and you were just testing something out and you wanted to see that if it was going to work or not, the one-click restore is extremely powerful because guess what it does? In the event that you screw up your site because of something you did, change the settings, you change some of the coding in the back end, and you just need to undo it, with a one-click restore, it'll go back to a snapshot in terms of a backup that you just did. So you essentially get to hit the reset button and undo any type of damage you might have caused to your site. So these are the reasons why I recommend WP Engine to all my clients, and I highly recommend that you take a strong look at it. To sign up for WP Engine, all you need to do is click the link below in the description or on this video here, or you go to www.byroningram.com. So I recommend, once again, you take a look at WP Engine.